Hey everybody, welcome back to Tim Travels. It's Terry, your host, coming to you from the Pittston terminal of Prime Inc. here in Pittston, Pennsylvania. So I've never really talked about Pittston. I kind of mentioned Salt Lake City in the past when I've been there, or Springfield. Pittston is a city here in Luzerne County, PA, and it's been around for a long time, and it's been an important place for a long time. Coal was discovered here like back in the late 1700s. This area was hotly contested between the British and colonials during the Revolutionary War, and at one time the city of Pittston and the township of Pittston basically took up most of the area between Scranton and Wilkes-Barre, and so it was a big place. And of course, with the discovery of coal, it became bigger and bigger. The population here kind of peaked at over 18,000 people, and just to give you an idea, there's around 7,700 here now in Pittston proper. But it peaked in 1920, which incidentally is just a couple of years after coal miner employment in the United States peaked. In other words, you know, there were politicians talking about bring back coal. There's these friends of coal people. Over 100 years ago is when coal mine employment started to fall off. Like, not in my lifetime, you know, but 1918 is when it reached its zenith. So it doesn't surprise that Pittston is kind of fallen down. Although even in the post like coal mining, anthracite coal mining time, Pittston had a lot of other industries like textiles and stuff like that. Always been a town, a lot of immigrants, Eastern Europeans, Italians, Irish, Germans, all kind of made this place what it is. There were a couple of coal mining disasters. One in 1896 was a big deal, and a lot of men were lost. There was like a coal mine explosion. But from what I could tell in my reading about Pittston, there was a mine disaster, not in Pittston itself, but like up the river a little bit, that happened in January, on January 22nd, actually, 1859. And when I was reading this, I had to read it a couple times, because it's pretty incredible, but it really it's really kind of interesting. So January, Susquehanna River was full of ice, and there's this phenomenon that I've seen on the Susquehanna myself, although farther down, like maybe south of where the Juniata River comes in, like north of Harrisburg, and it's called ice damming, and where ice just gets like piled up and pushed down. Well, on January 22nd, 1959, the Susquehanna River, with all these giant chunks of ice, pushed down through its bed. Except it wasn't just, you know, the rest of the earth, you know, like you can kind of dig to China. There was a mine shaft under there, and it punched through into a mine shaft that was actively being mined. And miraculously, only about a dozen people were killed. A lot of people escaped. Some escaped up air shafts, but you know, billions of gallons of the river flowed into this whole network of mine main shafts and side shafts and stuff like that. And the way they plugged the hole is they literally threw rail cars, coal, you know, the cars that bring coal out, wood, whatever they could, into this giant whirlpool where the river was basically draining into the mines. They just threw it into the whirlpool to eventually stop the water flow. But that was kind of the beginning of the end of coal mining in this part of Pennsylvania. I think it probably went to different places that had maybe better safety records, and I'm not saying West Virginia has a great safety record, or even, you know, strip mining out west, but it just kind of was the beginning of the end of major mining operations in you know, like Lackawanna and Luzerne County, Pennsylvania. So anyway, that's a little bit about Pittston, where we have our terminal, and of course Prime is an employer that has come in here post coal, post garment. There's a lot of businesses here. There's distribution centers, a lot of transportation, obviously, and so it's you know, it's kind of reinvented itself like towns tend to do over time. So we're here in Pittston. We drove over. We just kind of hit it fairly hard. We did stop in Iowa City, Iowa last night just to say hi to my son, and we went out and grabbed some food with him. And so that was fun, I think, for everybody. And we're about 4 hours from our 90, so I think we're going to head over there probably around 2300 tonight. Springfield, Massachusetts. They open at 5. Our appointment's not delayed, but I've been told that since we have a produce load, they'll get us in pretty quickly. So what I'm hoping is we can show up there, get in line right away, and then we'll get offloaded quickly. And then I don't know what we'll do. We might take a little bit of a breather and maybe get a load, I don't know, later in the day, or maybe on Thursday morning or something. We'll have to see, because Gabe, my co-driver, only needs about 1,500 more miles before he can start the upgrade process. So in a perfect world, we'd get a load out of, you know, maybe Massachusetts, southern Maine, going down towards, you know, out towards Kansas City, Springfield, Joplin, maybe Oklahoma City, somewhere out that way. And that's going to be 1,500 miles, and then we could just get back to the terminal in Springfield, and he can go through his classes. And then our fleet manager is telling us that there's the availability on trucks is starting to loosen a little bit. So I feel like he probably has a pretty good handle on that part of the operation. I actually did see a 2022 Peterbilt parked here in Pittston. It was pristine. I could tell you from looking at it, because I saw the back of it, but then I also looked at the number. It has never had a trailer on it. So it was very, 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 very clean. So somebody's getting some 22s. I also saw a 21 Peterbilt that looked really new too. So maybe a late 21 or something. You know, my co-driver wants to lease, so maybe they got some stuff coming off lease, you know, other people, like kind of the situation I was in. We'll find out here, and it's probably not going to be this week's hope, but I think in maybe early next week. So anyway, just a short update. We're going to the Bay State tomorrow, and we'll report back, let you know how things go, and yeah, we'll just keep trucking and try to find something interesting to talk about. If you got any questions, hit me up. I've periodically put my email address for people that have been interested in maybe training with me. I put that in the description section. I'll do it again on this video. So if anybody watches it and they're interested, they can just shoot me an email, and then we can figure out if our schedules kind of mesh. So anyway, reporting from Pittston, PA. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, and by the way, we got man, we are so close to 500 subscribers. And I'm not, you know, I know some people get on here on YouTube and they're every single show they're asking for people to subscribe and stuff. And I haven't historically done that. But really what I want to do is, you know, the fact that we're close to 500 is just really cool. I really appreciate it. And if you like what you see, you know, tell people about it, share it, or however you might do that. Put it on, I guess you can put YouTube's on like Facebook or whatever. So anyway, I really do appreciate it. It's fun to meet people that like the channel, It's fun to talk to people and learn about them, and it's a great connection, and so I'm very grateful for it. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you soon. Be careful out there. Bye.